Seeming humanity walks away. The Galactic Council faces collapse. The massive chamber of the Galactic Council fell silent as Ambassador Alara Reeve walked deliberately toward the central platform. The Council Hall, a colossal structure carved from a hollow asteroid, housed representatives from over 300 species across the known galaxy. Crystalline pillars stretched upward, supporting a transparent dome that revealed the swirling nebula beyond. The Council's 7 high ministers, representing the founding species, looked down from their elevated positions with expressions ranging from curiosity to unveiled contempt. Alara, the sole human in the chamber, appeared insignificant against the backdrop of towering alien dignitaries and advanced technology. Her simple gray diplomatic uniform contrasted with the elaborate attire of other representatives. As she reached the speaker's platform, a subtle smile crossed her face. Behind her, projected on the chamber's main display, Earth appeared, a blue marble seemingly unimportant in the vast expanse of space. Humanity stands accused of violating Directive 773, unauthorized technological advancement beyond supervised parameters, announced High Minister Vorex, his translucent appendages rippling with bioluminescent patterns expressing disapproval. The evidence suggests your species has developed quantum entanglement technology that bypasses our monitored communication networks, continued Minister Thalon, her insectoid features clicking in agitation. Rather than appearing defensive, Alara calmly placed a small device on the platform. It projected a hologram showing a timeline of human technological developments, all apparently within Council guidelines. Distinguished ministers, Alara began, her voice steady and confident. Humanity has adhered to every regulation imposed since our admission to this Council 40 years ago. Yet in that time, we have been denied access to medical technologies that could have saved billions of our people. We've been restricted from exploring regions of space declared off-limits without explanation. And now we face accusations without substantive evidence. The Council chamber erupted in whispers as Alara activated a second hologram, this one showing Council ships secretly monitoring Earth's orbital installations, perhaps. Instead of questioning humanity's adherence to your rules, Alara continued, her voice now carrying throughout the chamber, we should examine why the Council feels it necessary to place surveillance devices throughout our solar system, devices explicitly forbidden by the very charter this Council claims to uphold. A deep silence fell over the chamber as Alara revealed what no species had dared to do in centuries, directly challenge the Council's authority with evidence of their own violations. High Minister Vorex's skin flashed with angry pulses of light. This is outrageous. Your primitive understanding of galactic security. My understanding is sufficient to recognize hypocrisy, Alara interrupted, causing gasps among the delegates. No one interrupted a High Minister. Thousands of light years away, Admiral Marcus Vega stood on the bridge of the EDF Sentinel, Earth's flagship. A tactical display showed the positions of humanity's defensive fleet, strategically positioned outside Council space. 30 vessels, small by Council standards, but hiding capabilities no alien had yet witnessed. Status report, Vega demanded, his weathered face illuminated by the blue glow of holographic displays. All ships in position. Admiral, replied Lieutenant Thomas. Ambassador Reeves' transmission continues uninterrupted. Council military vessels maintaining distance but have altered patrol patterns in the last hour. Vega nodded. They're nervous, good. Back in the Council chamber, Alara continued her address. For 4 decades, humanity has been a model member of this Council. We've shared our art, our culture, our unique perspective. Yet we've been treated as children. Our development throttled, our potential feared. Your species advances too quickly, rasped Delegate Quan, a reptilian representative from the Draxus Confederation. The Accords of Membership clearly state technological development must follow the natural progression scale. A scale defined by the Council, Alara replied, which curiously places founding species at the top and newcomers permanently at the bottom. In a secret laboratory beneath the Himalayan mountains, Dr. Naomi Khatri examined the alien monitoring device recovered from Jupiter's orbit. Its construction revealed technology far beyond what the Council claimed to possess. They've been lying to us for decades, she said to the team of scientists surrounding her. This quantum field manipulator operates on principles they claim are theoretical. Her assistant, Dr. Moss, looked up from his analysis. We found 17 more devices throughout the solar system, each one capable of monitoring all our communications. Naomi's tablet chimed with an encrypted message. Protocol Exodus authorized. Proceed at will. In the darkened corner of a London cafe, Lyrax adjusted his human disguise. After 12 years infiltrating Earth society, the Council spy had begun questioning his mission. His report lay unfinished on his tablet. Humans display anomalous patterns of innovation and adaptation. Unlike other monitored species, they frequently make intuitive leaps in technology without following predicted development paths. More concerning is their growing awareness of Council surveillance. He deleted the report. Something about this mission felt wrong. In the Council chamber, a new voice spoke. Councillor Jenk, representing a mining colony in the Outer Rim, stood. I move to form an investigation committee to examine these human accusations. Seconded, called another voice, then another. Alara noticed with interest that the younger species were supporting the motion, while the ancient races seemed alarmed. High Minister Vorex slammed his appendage on the console. Enough, Ambassador Reeve. Humanity walks a dangerous path. 3 species before you questioned Council authority. Do you know what became of them? The threat hung in the air. Alara smiled. Actually, Minister, that's precisely why I'm here. The Arcosian civilization, the Ventari Republic, and the Mithril Collective all vanished from Council records within the past century, all after presenting evidence similar to ours. The chamber erupted in chaos. Alara touched her communicator. Admiral Vega, they've taken the bait. Proceed to Phase 2. Vega's voice came through clearly. Understood, Ambassador. And the Exodus Protocol? Authorized. Alara confirmed, watching the pandemonium spreading through the Council chamber. It's time humanity walked away from this charade. As she turned to leave the platform, Alara caught the eye of Councillor Drav, a representative from a recently admitted species. The alien gave an almost imperceptible nod. The pieces were in motion. The Council's days of unquestioned authority were numbered, and humanity was just getting started. Humanity walks away. The Galactic Council faces collapse. The Galactic Council reconvened 3 days after Ambassador Alara Reeve's shocking accusations. The massive chamber, usually a model of order and protocol, now buzzed with tension. Representatives from hundreds of worlds huddled in anxious clusters, their translators working overtime as rumors and theories spread. Alara entered through the main doors, flanked by 2 human aides carrying sealed data containers. Unlike before, the chamber didn't fall silent. Instead, the noise grew as delegates pointed and whispered. The 7 high ministers sat rigidly in their elevated positions, their collective demeanor significantly cooler than during the previous session. Ambassador Reeve, High Minister Vorex began, his bioluminescent skin pulsing with barely contained anger. The Council has convened an emergency session to address your allegations. Alara approached the central platform with measured steps. Not allegations, Minister, evidence. She nodded to her aides who placed the data containers on the platform. What I presented 3 days ago was merely an introduction. The containers opened with a pneumatic hiss, revealing stacks of physical documents and data crystals. In an age of digital communication, the physical evidence created a dramatic effect. Gasps echoed across the chamber. Distinguished representatives, Alara announced, her voice amplified throughout the hall. Before you lies 3 centuries of documented Council interference with emerging species, systematic suppression of technological advancement, resource exploitation disguised as development aid, and the deliberate isolation of species, showing potential to challenge Council authority. She activated a hologram showing a timeline of Council interventions across 50 star systems. Each instance followed the same pattern. A promising civilization discovers faster than light travel, makes contact with the Council, joins under promises of protection and advancement, then finds itself permanently regulated to resource provider status. High Minister Thalen leaned forward, her insectoid mandibles clicking rapidly. This is absurd. The natural progression scale exists to prevent species from advancing too quickly for their cultural maturity. A convenient explanation, Alara replied, activating another hologram showing comparative development rates. Yet every founding species progressed through these same technological phases in half the time, now mandated for newer members. From a mid-level seat among the thousands of representatives, Councillor Drav watched with growing excitement. His species, the Ixari, had joined the Council only 30 years before humans. They had experienced the same restrictive policies, the same condescending guidance. As a junior member of the Resource Allocation Committee, Drav had accessed files normally restricted to lower-tier species. What he discovered had horrified him. Now he watched as this human female systematically dismantled centuries of Council propaganda. His long fingers tapped a discreet signal on his communication pad, sending an encrypted message to Alara's team. Third Archive Section, Vega Delta Protocols. Authorization, Truth Seeker. In Earth orbit, Admiral Vega received an urgent transmission from the Lunar Defense Base. Admiral, multiple Council vessels have altered course. They're taking positions near our outer colonies. Vega's expression remained calm. Initiate Protocol Shield. All fleet vessels to defensive positions. Activate stealth systems and prepare contingency responses. Across human space, ships that had appeared modest and technologically compliant with Council standards suddenly transformed. Hidden weapon systems emerged from concealed compartments. Energy shields far beyond what humanity had officially developed shimmered into existence. The fleet moved with precision into a protective formation around key human worlds. On the bridge of his flagship, Vega opened a secure channel. Ambassador Reeve, Council military vessels are mobilizing. Our fleet is responding according to protocol. In the Council chamber, Alara received the message through her discreet earpiece. She didn't flinch. Instead, she activated the next hologram, detailed scans of Council military vessels approaching human colonies. It appears, ministers, that while we discuss diplomacy here, Council warships move against peaceful human settlements. The chamber erupted. Many representatives stood in shock. Others shouted questions at the High Ministers, who appeared genuinely surprised. This is not a Council-sanctioned military action, protested Minister Kwan, his reptilian scales flushing with agitation. High Minister Vorek signaled urgently to his aides. After receiving a data tablet, his bioluminescent patterns shifted to patterns of concern. Ambassador Reeve is correct. Military vessels are moving toward human space. But this mobilization was not authorized by this Council. Then who gave the order? Demanded a representative from the Proxima Coalition. No one answered. In his private chambers adjacent to the Council Hall, Vorex activated a secure communication channel. The holographic image of a shadowy figure appeared. "You fool," Vorex hissed. The military deployment was meant to wait until after we neutralized the human ambassador. Circumstances changed, the figure replied. Our analysis indicates humans have developed technology far beyond what they've revealed. If they're allowed to withdraw from Council authority, everything we've built for millennia will collapse. The Council is already on the brink of fracturing. This premature action only validates the human accusations. Then accelerate your plan, the figure responded coldly. Offer them the deal. Back in the Council chamber, Alara continued presenting evidence of systematic suppression. Representatives from dozens of younger species began openly questioning their senior counterparts. A private message appeared on Alara's tablet. Meet me. Central Archives. 1 hour, come alone. Drav. Dr. Naomi Khatri stood before Earth's Defense Council in the underground facility beneath Geneva. The quantum entanglement technology we've developed doesn't just allow for unmonitored communication, she explained to the assembled leaders. It creates the theoretical possibility of instantaneous travel between points in space. Gasps filled the chamber. You mean faster than light travel without hyperspace corridors? Asked Defense Minister Rodriguez. Beyond that, Naomi replied. Travel without travel. No passage through space, just existence in one location, then another. The implications are revolutionary, and based on the Council monitoring devices we've examined, they've suppressed this knowledge for thousands of years. In London, Lyrax made his decision. After years as a Council spy embedded within human society, he would defect. The evidence was overwhelming. The Council had been manipulating member species for millennia, preventing them from reaching their full potential. He encrypted his final report with details of Council military capabilities and sent it directly to Admiral Vega. As Alara left the Council chamber, High Minister Vorex intercepted her in a private antechamber. Ambassador Reeve, he said, his voice softer than in the chamber. Perhaps we can reach an accommodation. What kind of accommodation? Ilara asked cautiously. The Council will permit humanity's technological advancement without restriction, access to all medical and scientific knowledge, unrestricted exploration rights. In exchange, we require only access to one technology, the quantum entanglement breakthrough you've recently achieved. Ilara's expression revealed nothing. And why would this particular technology interest you so much, Minister? Its communications applications would benefit all Council species, he replied smoothly. Yet you monitored our development specifically to prevent this discovery, Ilara observed. Curious. Forex's skin flashed with patterns of frustration. Consider my offer, Ambassador. The alternative may be unpleasant for all concerned. Hours later, Ilara stood before the full Council again. The chamber was now packed with representatives from every member species. After 40 years of membership, she began, her voice steady and clear, and after careful consideration of recent events, I am authorized to announce humanity's unprecedented decision. She paused, looking directly at the High Ministers. Earth and all human colonies hereby withdraw completely from the Galactic Council, effective immediately. For humanity walks away, the Galactic Council faces collapse. Stunned silence engulfed the massive council chamber. Ambassador Ilara Reeves' words, declaring humanity's withdrawal from the Galactic Council, seemed to hang in the air. The representatives of 300 species sat frozen, many unable to comprehend what they had just witnessed. No species had ever voluntarily left the Council in its 12,000-year history. High Minister Vorex recovered first, his translucent skin flashing with patterns of alarm and rage. This is impossible. The Charter of Membership explicitly forbids withdrawal without unanimous Council approval. Ilara's calm demeanor stood in stark contrast to the growing chaos. Minister Vorex, perhaps you should review Section 773B of the Charter. It states that any species subjected to targeted, surveillance or military action without formal Council sanction is automatically released from all membership obligations. She gestured to the holographic display showing Council military vessels moving toward human colonies. Your own actions have triggered this clause. The chamber erupted into pandemonium. Junior species representatives shouted questions at the High Ministers. Ancient allies of the founding species demanded explanations. Security drones hovered anxiously above the growing disorder. Councillor Drav, watching from his mid-tier seat, allowed himself a small smile. The humans had discovered the loophole his own research team had identified years ago, but never dared to use. Order. I demand order. Vorex's amplified voice thundered through the chamber, but the chaos only intensified. Ilara turned and began walking calmly toward the exit. As she reached the massive doorway, she paused and looked back at the spectacle of the once mighty Galactic Council descending into disarray. Then she stepped through the portal and was gone. Across human space, protocol exodus began. On 17 colonies spread across Council territory, human settlers methodically shut down their installations. Massive transport ships hidden in strategic locations for decades emerged to evacuate citizens. Factories were dismantled, research stations emptied, and data cores wiped clean. Admiral Vega stood on the bridge of the EDF Sentinel, watching tactical displays as human ships converged on evacuation points. Status report on the approaching Council vessels. Lieutenant Thomas studied his console. 3 battlecruisers from the Chilari fleet approaching New Terra colony, sir. ETA 20 minutes. They're charging weapons. Vega nodded calmly. Deploy Defense Grid Alpha. Inform Commander Wright she is authorized to reveal capabilities up to Tier 3 if necessary. Near the colony of New Terra, Commander Anna Wright's small flotilla of 5 human vessels moved to intercept the approaching Council battlecruisers. Each human ship was a third the size of their opponents. Council vessels approaching weapons range, Commander, her tactical officer reported. Wright straightened in her command chair. Broadcast on all frequencies, Council vessels, this is Commander Wright of the Earth Defense Force. New Terra colony is undergoing evacuation under Protocol Exodus. Any hostile action will be met with appropriate defensive measures. The largest Council ship responded immediately. Human vessels, this is Commander Zoth of the Chilari fleet. Your colonies are under Council jurisdiction. Stand down and prepare for boarding. Wright smiled. Tactical, deploy defense grid. Activate Tier 1 capabilities. What happened next would be reported across 1,000 worlds within hours. The seemingly modest human ship suddenly transformed. Hidden compartments opened to reveal advanced weapon systems. Energy shields beyond anything the Council had seen shimmered into existence. The human vessels moved with impossible speed and precision. When the Chilari battle cruisers fired, their energy weapons dissipated harmlessly against the human shields. Wright's flotilla responded with pinpoint counterstrikes that disabled the Council vessels' weapon systems without destroying the ships. In the underground facility beneath the Himalayas, Dr. Naomi Khatri led a team analyzing a series of mysterious transmissions detected at the edge of human space. The signal pattern matches nothing in our databases or Council records, she explained to the gathered scientists. But the mathematical sequence underlying the transmission is fascinating. Her assistant, Dr. Moss, looked up from his analysis. It's responding to our quantum entanglement tests, almost as if it's been waiting for someone to develop this specific technology. Naomi's eyes widened. Can you pinpoint the source? Moss nodded. It's coming from beyond Council space, from a region marked as interdicted on all official charts, approximately 70 light-years from our furthest colony. And the translation algorithm? That's the strangest part, Moss replied. The signal structure perfectly aligns with human neural patterns. It's as if it was designed specifically for our brains to decode. In a secure meeting room adjacent to the Council chambers, Councillor Drav nervously awaited Ilara's arrival. The human ambassador had slipped away from her security detail to make this clandestine meeting. When she entered, Drav immediately activated a signal scrambler. We don't have much time, Ambassador. What I'm about to show you violates every oath I've taken as a Council member. He placed a data crystal on the table between them. This contains the true history of the Galactic Council. The founding members have hidden it for millennia. Ilara picked up the crystal. Why are you helping us? Because my species suffered the same restrictions as yours. Because I've spent years piecing together fragments of suppressed knowledge. Because what's happening now was always inevitable. Drav leaned forward. Have you heard of the Void Gates? Ilara shook her head. They're an ancient transportation network that exists beyond Council-controlled space. The Council's primary purpose isn't governance or peaceful cooperation. It's to prevent any species from discovering these gates. Why? Ilara asked. Because whoever controls them can bypass the Council's carefully maintained hyperspace routes. They can travel anywhere instantaneously without restriction. Drav's voice dropped lower. Your quantum entanglement breakthrough isn't just similar to Void Gate technology. It's the key to activating the entire network. On Earth, Lyrex, the Council spy who had defected, met with Defense Minister Rodriguez. The Council is preparing a quarantine operation unlike anything attempted in recent history, he explained. They'll deploy their entire combined fleet to isolate human space. Why such an extreme response? Rodriguez asked. Because they're terrified, Lyrex replied. My species has served as information gatherers for the Council for generations. We've had access to fragments of classified data. The Council's greatest fear has always been that humans might awaken something that has been dormant for millennia. What something? Lyrex hesitated. We don't know exactly. But there are whispers about the original founders of the Council, species whose images appear in historical records, but whom no living being has ever seen. Back in the Council chamber, now cleared of most representatives, the 7 High Ministers gathered in emergency session. The holographic image of their mysterious superior flickered before them. The humans must not be allowed to leave Council space, the figure commanded. Their neural patterns are compatible with the ancient technology. If they reach the Void Gates, everything we have built will collapse. High Minister Thalan's mandibles clicked nervously. But their defensive capabilities far exceed our intelligence estimates. And now other species are questioning our authority. Then implement the final protocol, the figure replied coldly. Better to lose a few star systems than allow what sleeps beyond to awaken. As Ilara's shuttle departed for Earth, she reviewed the data Crystal Drav had given her. The information it contained was staggering. The Council had not merely been restricting technological development. They had been systematically preventing any species from developing the neural capacity to interface with technology left by a precursor. Species and humans, it seemed, had accidentally evolved the exact neural patterns needed to awaken that ancient legacy. She opened a secure channel to Admiral Vega. Admiral, Change of plans. Direct a research vessel to these coordinates. She transmitted the location from which the mysterious signal originated. What are we looking for? Vega asked. Ilara took a deep breath. A void gate, and possibly the answer to why the Council has feared humanity from the moment we made first contact. Humanity walks away. The Galactic Council faces collapse. The emergency session of the Galactic Council's Inner Circle convened in a secure chamber deep within the asteroid headquarters. Unlike the Grand Hall where public deliberations took place, this room was small, austere, and impenetrable to any surveillance. The 7 high ministers sat around a circular table, their faces illuminated by the eerie blue glow of holographic displays showing the progress of humanity's unprecedented exodus. 6 colonies completely evacuated in under 48 hours. Minister Thalon reported, her insectoid mandibles clicking with agitation. Their technology is far more advanced than our intelligence suggested. They've clearly been concealing capabilities for decades. High Minister Vorex's bioluminescent patterns pulsed with anger. The question is not how they're leaving, but where they're going. Our surveillance indicates their evacuation ships aren't returning to Earth. They're heading toward the outer void, Minister Quan stated, his reptilian scales flushing dark. Toward the interdicted sectors. A heavy silence fell over the chamber. For 12,000 years, the Council had maintained absolute authority over travel routes throughout the galaxy. The interdicted sectors, vast regions of space declared off-limits to all species, were the Council's most closely guarded secret. We must implement the Omega Directive, Vorex declared. Authorization to deploy planet-killer weapons. Even in this inner sanctum, the statement caused visible shock. Minister Jackson, the eldest of the 7, raised a trembling hand. In 12 millennia, we have never resorted to such measures. The collateral damage would be catastrophic. Better a few inhabited systems are sacrificed than allowing humans to reach the gates. Vorex countered. You've seen the neural compatibility tests. Humans aren't just similar to the precursors, they're almost identical. Before anyone could respond, the chamber's security system chimed. A message appeared on the main display. Emergency broadcast from Council species. Request to address Inner Circle. Authorization, multiple species coalition. The ministers exchanged concerned glances. No one had ever interrupted an Inner Circle meeting. Display. Vorex commanded reluctantly. The hologram shifted to show a diverse group of representatives from at least 30 different species. At their center stood Councillor Drav. Honorable ministers, Drav began, his tone formal but firm. I speak on behalf of 37 Council member species who have formed an emergency coalition in light of recent events. This is unprecedented, Minister Thalon interrupted. The Inner Circle does not recognize unofficial coalitions. Yet you will hear us, Drav replied calmly. Because we represent over 40% of Council worlds, and we have accessed the restricted archives. Another weighted silence fell over the chamber. We know the truth about the void gates, Drav continued. We know why you fear human neural patterns, and we know about the failed quarantine attempt against the Arcosians, the Ventari, and the Mithral Collective. Vorex's skin flashed with patterns of alarm. You speak of matters beyond your clearance, Counselor. Information should never have been restricted, Drav replied. Our coalition demands immediate transparency regarding the precursors, the purpose of the Council's founding, and the true nature of the interdicted zones. We further demand the immediate cessation of all military action against human vessels. On the bridge of the research vessel EDF Discovery, Dr. Naomi Khatri watched in awe as the ship approached the coordinates taken from the mysterious signal. Before them, suspended in the void of space, hung an enormous ring-shaped structure. Nearly 20 kilometers in diameter, its surface was covered in intricate patterns that seemed to pulse with internal light. A void gate, Captain Rivera breathed. Just like the data crystal described. Energy readings are off the charts, reported the science officer. But the pattern is remarkably similar to our quantum entanglement field. Naomi stepped closer to the view screen. It's been waiting. For us, specifically. As if in response to her words, the patterns on the gate's surface began to glow more intensely. A beam of light shot forth from the structure, scanning the human vessel. We're being probed, the tactical officer warned, reaching for the weapons controls. No, Naomi countermanded. Don't resist. It's not hostile. It's recognizing us. The scanning beam widened, enveloping the entire ship in a soft golden light. Then, to everyone's astonishment, symbols began appearing in the air before them, symbols that transformed into English words as they watched. "Welcome, children of the Founders," the message read. "The Great Network awaits your return." Admiral Vega's fleet now formed a protective perimeter around Earth and key human colonies. The tactical display showed hundreds of Council vessels taking positions at the edge of human space. "They're establishing a quarantine line," Lieutenant Thomas observed. "Trying to box us in." "As expected," Vega replied calmly. "Status of the evacuation?" 87% complete, Admiral. All non-essential personnel have been relocated according to the Exodus Protocol. Remaining military and research teams are on schedule for final withdrawal within 24 hours. Vega nodded. "And the Void Gate expedition?" Dr. Khatri reports successful first contact. The gate has recognized human neural patterns and is awakening. Before Vega could respond, alarms blared across the bridge. The tactical display shifted to show a massive Council battle fleet emerging from hyperspace. "Alert status," Vega ordered. "All ships defensive positions." The lead Council vessel, nearly 5 times the size of Vega's flagship, broadcast on all frequencies. "Attention, human fleet. This is Grand Admiral Zeth of the Combined Council Forces. By order of the High Ministers, all human space is under quarantine. Any vessel attempting to leave will be destroyed." Vega opened a channel. "This is Admiral Vega of the Earth Defense Force. Your quarantine is rejected. We have legally withdrawn from the Council under Section 773B of the Charter. Any aggressive action will be considered an act of war." "You misunderstand, human," Zeth replied. "This is not negotiable. The Council has authorized the Omega Directive." Even Vega's disciplined expression showed shock. "The Omega Directive? You would destroy entire worlds?" "If necessary, yes." In the central archives of the Council headquarters, Alara, Reeve, and Lyrex hurriedly downloaded critical files from the restricted section. The defected spies' access codes had granted them entry, but security systems would detect the breach soon. "I've found it," Lyrex whispered urgently. "The founding compact. The original document establishing the Galactic Council." Alara moved to his terminal. The document on screen was ancient, written in a script that predated modern galactic language. But one section had been translated into contemporary text. "We, the surviving species," she read aloud, "hereby establish this council to ensure that the great mistake is never repeated. The Void Network shall remain dormant. The interdicted zones shall remain sealed. And above all, we shall prevent the return of those who came before." "Look at the signatory species," Lyrex pointed. Alara scrolled down. 7 species were listed, with detailed genetic profiles of each. 6 were recognizable as the ancestors of current Council founding members. But the 7th, the lead signatory, showed a genetic profile that made Alara's blood run. "Colt, that's impossible," she whispered. The profile was unquestionably human. At the Void Gate, the Discovery's communication system suddenly activated. A transmission from Earth appeared on the main screen. Admiral Vega's grim face filled the display. "Dr. Khatri, the Council has initiated the Omega Directive. They're preparing to deploy planet killers against Earth. We need that gate operational now." Naomi turned to her team. "Initialize the quantum entanglement field. Full power." As the field activated, the massive gate began to rotate. Energy surged through its ancient structure, creating a swirling vortex within its center. The vortex stabilized into a shimmering portal, beyond which countless stars could be seen. Stars in patterns unfamiliar to any human astronomer. "Gate is active," Naomi reported. "But Admiral, there's something you need to know. The gate recognized us. It called us children of the Founders, and the genetic profiles from the founding compact. They're human." On Vega's screen, the massive Council battle fleet began moving toward Earth. "Send the coordinates to all evacuation vessels," he ordered. "All ships prepare for emergency jump to the Void Gate." The final phase of humanity's exodus had begun, but the greatest revelation still awaited them beyond the gate: the truth about humanity's place in the galaxy, and why the Council had feared them from the very beginning. Humanity walks away. The Galactic Council faces collapse. The main Council chamber, normally a model of order and protocol, had descended into chaos. Representatives from hundreds of species crowded the massive hall, their voices raised in a cacophony of demands, questions, and accusations. The 7 ornate chairs of the High Ministers stood empty on their elevated platform, their occupants conspicuously absent for the first time in council history. At the center of the chamber, Councillor Drav stood on the speaker's platform, surrounded by delegates from the hastily formed Coalition of Reform. Behind him, massive view screens displayed something unprecedented: live footage of the Council's secret military fleet moving against Earth, alongside images of the activated Void Gate discovered by humans. For 12,000 years, Drav's voice echoed throughout the chamber, amplified by the ancient acoustics. We have been told the Council exists to promote peace and progress among species. Today, that lie ends. He activated a hologram showing the original founding compact that Alara and Lyrex had discovered. This document, hidden in restricted archives, reveals the Council's true purpose: to prevent any species from accessing the Void Gate network, to suppress technological development that might lead to its rediscovery, and most critically, to prevent the return of those who came before. Gasps and murmurs rippled through the chamber as the document's text appeared, translated into all Council languages. But the greatest deception, Drav continued, concerns humanity. They were never just another species joining our galactic community. According to this genetic profile from the founding compact, humans are direct descendants of the precursors, the most advanced of the founding species, who supposedly vanished millennia ago. The chamber erupted again, hundreds of representatives rising from their seats demanding explanations. Security drones hovered nervously above the crowd, their programming unprepared for such wholesale disorder. Even now, the High Ministers have authorized the Omega Directive, planet-killer weapons against Earth, not to protect the galaxy, but to bury the truth of their millennia-long deception. In deep space, Admiral Vega's fleet faced the advancing Council armada. Despite the technological advantages humanity had concealed, they were outnumbered 20-1. All vessels, defensive formation Delta. Vega ordered calmly. Protect the evacuation ships at all costs. They must reach the Void Gate. Behind his fleet, a stream of civilian vessels carried the remaining population of Earth and the human colonies. Centuries of contingency planning had prepared humanity for this moment. The complete withdrawal from Council space. Council vessels launching attack craft, Lieutenant Thomas reported. Energy signatures indicate Omega-class weapons powering up. Vega's expression remained stoic. Deploy countermeasures. All ships engage only defensive systems. Our priority is protection, not victory. As the massive Council battleships moved into range, their weapon systems suddenly powered down. Confusion spread across the bridge of the EDF Sentinel. Sir, the Council fleet, they're standing down, Tomas reported incredulously. On the main view screen, the face of a Chilari commander appeared, not Grand Admiral Zeth, but a junior officer. Admiral Vega, this is Commander Krell of the Chilari Defense Force. We have received orders from our planetary government to disregard the Omega Directive and cease all hostile actions against human vessels. Before Vega could respond, more communications flooded in. Dozens of species were ordering their ships to stand down. The Grand Council fleet, comprised of vessels from hundreds of worlds, was fragmenting before their eyes. At the Void Gate, Dr. Naomi Khatri watched as the ancient structure continued to activate fully. The swirling portal at its center had stabilized, creating a bridge to somewhere beyond known space. The gate's systems had interfaced seamlessly with human technology, responding to commands as if designed specifically for them. The quantum entanglement field is fully synchronized, Dr. Moss reported. The gate is ready for mass transit. Naomi nodded, then froze as new data appeared on her console. These coordinates. The gate isn't just connecting to one location. It's part of a vast network spanning multiple galaxies. The gate's interface displayed a star map unlike any humans had ever seen. Thousands of points of light connected by shimmering lines, representing a transportation network of unimaginable scale. It's sending us another message, Moss said quietly. Words formed in the air before them. The Exodus Protocol is recognized. Safe passage granted to all children of the Founders. The home systems await your return. In the hidden command center beneath the Council headquarters, the 7 High Ministers faced their mysterious superior. For the first time, the holographic disguise had been dropped, revealing a figure that appeared almost human, but different in subtle, unsettling ways. "You have failed," the figure stated coldly. "The humans have reached the gate. The Coalition has accessed the archives. The deception we maintained for 12 millennia is unraveling." High Minister Vorex's bioluminescent patterns pulsed with desperation. "We can still contain this. Many species remain loyal to Council authority. We can rebuild the narrative." "No," the figure replied. "The cycle approaches its end as it was always destined to. The children have found their inheritance. The reclamation begins. What will happen to us?" Minister Thalin asked, her mandibles trembling. The figure's expression showed no emotion. "You will continue to administer what remains of Council space. A new compact will be established. The truth will be permitted to exist alongside necessary regulations. And you?" Vorex demanded. "Where will you go when the humans discover who truly controlled the Council?" "To face judgment," the figure replied simply. As was always intended. Back in the Council chamber, the Coalition representatives were voting on an emergency measure to restructure galactic governance when the massive doors swung open. Ambassador Alara Reeve entered, flanked by Lyrex and a small team of human diplomatic staff. The chamber fell silent as she approached the central platform. Unlike her previous appearances, this time she wore no diplomatic uniform, only simple attire that somehow commanded more respect than any official garb. "Representatives of the galaxy," she began, her voice clear and strong. "Humanity did not come here today to participate in the reformation of the Council. We came to say goodbye." She activated a hologram showing the human fleet approaching the Void Gate. "For 40 years we have been part of this galactic community. We joined in good faith hoping to learn and contribute. Instead, we discovered a system built on deception and control. Now we have found our true path forward." Murmurs rippled through the chamber. "We do not leave in anger," Alara continued. "We leave with hope. Hope that from the chaos of this moment, something better will emerge. The Coalition of Reform has our support in building a more transparent and equitable galactic governance." She gestured, and her aides distributed data crystals to key representatives. "As our parting gift, we offer unrestricted access to medical and agricultural technologies that the Council has suppressed for centuries. Knowledge that belongs to all sentient beings, not just a privileged few." Councillor Drav stepped forward. "Ambassador Reeve, many of us wish to maintain relations with humanity." "Where will you go?" Ilara smiled. "Through the Void Gates to reclaim our inheritance. The network connects to thousands of worlds beyond Council space, worlds once inhabited by our ancestors before the great mistake that led to the Council's formation." "Will you return?" Someone called from the chamber. "Perhaps," Ilara replied, "when the galaxy has transformed into something worthy of partnership. When the mistakes of the past have been addressed. When the truth is no longer feared." As she spoke, the view screen showed human ships beginning to enter the Void Gate, disappearing into the swirling portal one by one. "The age of secrets and suppression is ending," Ilara concluded. "What replaces it is up to you." With those words, she turned and walked from the chamber for the final time. In the following days, the Galactic Council fragmented into 3 distinct factions: traditionalists loyal to the remaining High Ministers, reformists following Drav's coalition, and isolationists seeking to follow humanity's example of independence. As the last human vessel prepared to enter the Void Gate, Admiral Vega stood on his bridge watching the Council territory they were leaving behind. "Do you think we'll ever come back?" Lieutenant Thomas asked quietly. Vega considered the question. "Not as supplicants or subjects, but someday, perhaps as equals." The Void Gate pulsed with energy as the EDF Sentinel approached. Beyond lay a network of worlds untouched by Council influence, and the answers to humanity's oldest questions. Who were they? Where had they come from? And why had their ancestors hidden their true nature for thousands of years? As the ship entered the portal, Vega felt not an ending, but a beginning. Humanity had walked away from the Galactic Council and, in doing so, had found its way home.